Grand Rising and Wholeness family. Welcome to Homeschool Approach to Holistic Health. I'm your nutrition assistant, Coach Scott, here where we host our HA to HH Authentic Soul Food Kitchen classes. You can get those classes online if you're interested in an online class. Leave me a comment down below. We also have that Authentic Soul Food Kitchen recipe meal guide if you would like to pre-register for that. Leave me a comment down below. If you're interested in knowing more about what is inside of the Authentic Soul Food Kitchen recipe guide, just take a look at some of the uploads that we've already uploaded. I think there's about 33 videos already uploaded every Monday. It's usually an Authentic Soul Food Kitchen recipe of some sort. Today's Authentic Soul Food Kitchen recipe is going to be the Seamoss. I have a guest client interview tomorrow, and I like to give gifts during my interview. So the gift that I know that this guest would really like is the Seamoss. He's a bodybuilder, also a trainer. So I think it would probably be best if I wait to let him tell about himself tomorrow. However, I know he loves the Seamoss. He loves the green juice, but I think he loves the Seamoss the most. So I'm going to gift him some Seamoss tomorrow. And so tonight, it's about 8:30. I'm going to go ahead and rinse the Seamoss, soak the Seamoss, and then in the AM I will blend the Seamoss so that it's fresh. I like to give it to my clients fresh. So today's tips are going to be about the Irish Seamoss. So let's get started. I definitely like using fresh spring water. So I rinse with fresh spring water. And then the Irish Seamoss, again, I get from Soul Rich Foods, which is a King Pierre, but I will leave a link down below so that I get credit for the referral. It's about 15% off. And there's a real easy way that I have kind of got this down to a science. If I have one mason jar full of Seamoss, I typically get about a handful. That's about all I use. And I put it inside of some glass container. And then I rinse it 3 to 4 times. That's the best tips. So we're going to come over to the sink. And I'm going to put a rinser over it. Ooh, making a mess. Okay. So as I rinse, I'm going to use my towel because I'm making a mess. You can tell it's dry right now. I mean, it's still got that. And then I just rinse. Really well. Then I pour the first water off. And I fill it up a second time. Ooh, I'm making a real mess, guys. So just keep wanting to come and show you, because the more you rinse, the plumper it gets. So that's my second time. And I just keep rinsing. And then I pour off the second. Vase of water. Then I rinse again. And you can see it's getting bigger and thicker. Can you see that? And I just rinse. You can't see me very well, but all I'm doing is I'm taking my fingers and I'm just kind of using the friction of my thumb and my pointer finger, as well as my other fingers along with my thumb, and just abruptly rubbing across the sea moss to get any residue or abrasions. And then I dump out that water, and even though that was the third time, because I'm showing you guys, I just want to make sure I'm getting all the debris off. So I'm going to do it one more time. And as you can tell, it definitely looks different than when we first started. Not the same. So this will be my last rinse. Just want to make sure I get all the debris out. So another tip, since I've rinsed inside of my container that I'm going to use to soak it in, what I like to do honestly is take the handful out. Try to make sure I get all my loose pieces. And then I dump that water out. And I just kind of rinse the vessel out. And then I put it back in there. And when I soak it, for my clients, I like to use the glass Aquapana spring water. So I'll grab that real quick. And this is also what I use tomorrow when I blend. So we'll just fill that up with some water. And we'll just let that soak overnight. And I'll probably use a whole fresh water tomorrow because tomorrow it'll probably, the recipe calls for a whole Aquapana bottle. So I just cover this just like this. And tomorrow night it'll be ready to blend, and I think I'm going to use my Vitamix for the first time. So I've been looking at the recipe book and I didn't see any Seamoss in there. I've looked at some YouTubers and no one talked about doing Seamoss. So maybe I'll be the first person on YouTube to make Seamoss in the Vitamix. So the settings I have the smoothie setting. So far as of tonight, I'm going to use the smoothie setting. But if I find another setting to use, then I guess we'll use that one because I'm going to look research a little more tonight. So until tomorrow. Today we're finishing off our Seamoss for one of our guests. It has been sitting overnight. We rinsed it we rinsed it 4 times. 3 to 4 times is one of HA to HH tips. So if you want to rinse it, 3 is probably okay. But since I was showing you guys, I wanted to make sure I got all the debris off. Again, some other tips that we're going to offer today are overnight. You can actually have it overnight if you like, or Dr. Sabi, my mentor, actually boils the Seamoss, but I like to keep it raw and let it soak overnight. But it only needs to about 4 to 6 hours. It doesn't have to be overnight. Again, that's just a tip from HA to HH, from me to you, to go ahead and just let it sit overnight. That way you don't have to worry about, has it been 4 hours? Has it been 6 hours? I just do it overnight, and this is what it looks like. It's a lot plumper than yesterday. Look, all the way at the tippy top. It's actually maybe a little more than I usually put in there because it's not always at the top. So some things have changed after my research from yesterday, basically I will be using the 10 speed on my Vitamix rather than the smoothie setting. I was advised that with the smoothie setting, it's basically for smoothies. This will not be a smoothie. So, I mean, it will be as smooth as a smoothie, and I probably will attempt that when it's not a client's smoothie. But for now, I'm going to make sure that his smoothie is accurate, even though this is the very first time I'll be making the Seamoss in the Vitamix. However, I said that this was going to be my very first thing that I make in my Vitamix. Well, after cleaning my Vitamix last night, the manual actually said, welcome to your first blend, which was the cleaning process. So I've actually already handled it a little bit. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on today's Iris Seamoss tips. Okay, so I'm just going to plug in Vitamix, turn her on from this side. It's a really nice model, and typically what I do is I cut these up, but I'm wondering if I don't have to, because I heard so many good things about the Vitamix. Look at all that beauty, y'all. Yes. I'm just going to use the emulsifier setting. Okay, so about this, I'm not going to pour this out. Yesterday I poured out probably about 4 rinses of spring water. This I will not. I will keep this. This is actually good for cooking, for using for your hands, any kind of cosmic hair or skin care. So this will be refrigerated and kept for a later time. So that's definitely another tip if you're interested in creating something like that. And moving on, I told you that we were going to use the Aquapana spring water. And so typically this recipe calls for the entire bottle, and I definitely think this is a lot more than I usually have. So we're gonna see. Oh, per Vitamix, you're actually supposed to put the water in first. And I am not going to put all the water in there simply because using the regular blenders, I'm used to pouring my water in a little at a time. I don't know if it's going to be like that with the Vitamix, but as of now, I'm going to do that just in case. Make sure it snaps on tight. There it is. Oh, and just a quick tip about the Vitamix. I didn't see this featured a lot in some of the YouTubers that I was watching. I love the fact that I can just set this down in either direction, and I don't know about you, but like little things like that really make me excited, because if I'm on this side of the counter, I want to set it, you know, this way. If I'm on this side of the counter, I want to be able to set it this way. So it just pops in place, and I love that feature. All right, let's give it an emulse. Nope. Okay, so we turn it to whichever speed. Oh, this is way too fast. I'm excited. Quit playing. We're gonna go ahead and set a speed. It's got a 10 speed on it, guys. We're gonna set it to like 6 and see what happens. need to do a show you guys how long this usually takes me, and I probably will do it again just so I can add more water. Yeah, because it's too thick, but when I tell you I'm in love, I'm in love. It's probably going to require all my water. Go for it, Sean. This is good stuff. Okay. Make sure it's on tight. I'm gonna set the speed again to 6. And let's see. About a minute. I didn't even have to use my tamper. Oh wow. Oh wow. I am impressed. This process usually takes a longer period of time. Look at that. And this is why I love the Vitamix feature where you can just set it right back on. Look at that. I even have enough for probably another whole mason jar, so I think I did overdo the handful yesterday. However, this will gel up in the refrigerator just perfectly. I'll probably put it in there for another couple hours before I meet my client, and yeah, so that is simple as it comes. 2 to 4 tablespoons. If you're interested in any questions regarding the Seamoss, just leave me a comment down below. I love answering questions, and that's it. Thanks for watching this episode. Wholeness.